Good morning, students. Let's continue with the lesson. Lesson number 2, Forest and Wildlife Resources. Before I begin, I want you all to take out your books and pen so that you can jot down some important points. Let's begin. Types and distribution of forest and wildlife. Today, we are going to learn about types and distribution of forest and wildlife. Students, before I begin with this topic, I would like to ask you one question. Listen carefully, okay? In our country, who owns much of its forest and wildlife resources? Yes? Yes, it's right. It is either owned or managed by the government through the forest department or other government departments. Is that clear? In India, much of its forest and wildlife resources are either owned or managed by the government through the forest department or other government departments. Now let's see the types of forest. Reserve forest, protected forest and unclassed forest. Okay, let us learn all these forests in detail. We'll start with reserve forest first. More than half of the total forest land of our country has been declared reserve forest. So it's very clear, students, 50% of the total forest land has been declared reserve forest. Students, do you know in reserve forest, high degree of protection is given to the forest and wildlife resources. That's why reserve forests are regarded as the most valuable as far as the conservation of forest and wildlife resources are concerned. Is that clear, students? Reserve forests are regarded as the most valuable as far as the conservation of forest and wildlife resources are concerned. High degree of protection is given for the forest and the wildlife resources. Hunting and poaching is prohibited. Is that clear? Now let us learn about the protected forest. Okay, almost 1/3 of the total forest area. You need to remember this. Almost 1/3 of the total forest area is protected forest as declared by the forest department. We have seen for reserve forest, it's 50% of the total forest land, and for protected forest, it's 1/3 of the total forest area. Is that clear, students? Almost 1/3 of the total forest area is protected forest declared by the forest department. This forest land are protected from any further depletion. So this point is very important. This forest land, that is the protected forest, are protected from any further depletion. Till now depletion took place, but it is protected from any further depletion. Is that clear, students? Now let's talk about unclassed forest. These are other forests, inaccessible forest and wastelands belonging to both government and private individuals and communities. So unclassed forests are the forests which are inaccessible. They are the wastelands, okay, belonging to both government and private individuals and communities. Reserved and protected forests are also referred to as permanent forest estates. So reserved and protected forest, we have learned just now, reserved and protected forest together, they are also referred to as permanent forest estates. You need to remember this. It may be asked for your objective question. They are maintained for the purpose of producing timber. Timber is the wood which is used for building, okay, for building purpose. And other forests produce like fruits, gum, rubber, etc. and for protective reasons. So once again, students, maintained, that is the permanent forest estates, they are maintained for the purpose of producing timber, and other forests produce and for protective reasons. Is that clear, students? Madhya Pradesh has the largest area under permanent forest. So if I ask which state has the largest area under permanent forest, it's Madhya Pradesh, constituting 75% of its total forest area. You need to remember this figure, students. It's 75%. Okay. So once again, which state has the largest area under permanent forest? Yes, it's Madhya Pradesh. Okay, this question may be asked for your map plotting as well. Jammu and Kashmir, Andhra Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal and Maharashtra have large percentage of reserve forest of its total forest area. So already we have discussed about the reserve forest, right? Wherein high protection is given to the forest and wildlife resources. So these states, okay, which I read just now, they have got large percentages of reserve forest of its total forest area. Bihar, Haryana, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Odisha and Rajasthan have a bulk of it under protected forest. So these states which I read just now, they have got most of their forest under protected forest. Is that clear, students? All northeastern states and parts of Gujarat have a very high percentage of their forest as unclassed forest, which is managed by local communities. So what about the northeastern states and some parts of Gujarat? Yes, they have a very high percentage of their forest as unclassed forest. Okay. Community and conservation. Students, it's community which plays a very important role in conservation of forest and wildlife resources. Let's see few examples. In Sariska Tiger Reserve, which is in Rajasthan, okay, villagers over there, they have fought against mining by citing the Wildlife Protection Act. They said according to the Wildlife Protection Act, mining cannot take place over here. Okay, in many areas, villagers themselves are protecting habitats and explicitly means clearly rejecting government involvement. So without government involvement, the villagers, okay, in many areas, villagers themselves are protecting the habitats. Is that clear, students? The inhabitants of 5 villages in the Alwar district of Rajasthan, do you know what they have done? They have declared 1,200 hectares of forest as the Bhairovdev Dakhav Sanctuary, declaring their own set of rules and regulations which do not allow hunting and are protecting the wildlife. So it's very interesting, right, students? The inhabitants of 5 villages together in the Alwar district of Rajasthan, they have declared 1,200 hectares of forest as the Bhairovdev Dakhav Sanctuary. They have declared their own set of rules and regulations. Okay, and they don't allow hunting over there. And they are protecting the wildlife. Is that clear, students? Now let's talk about the sacred groves. Okay, a wealth of diverse and rare species. Sacred means holy. Nature worship is an age-old tribal belief. Yes or no, students? You have seen people worshipping sun, right? Then plants, animals. So nature worship is an age-old tribal belief based on the premise that all creations of nature have to be protected. They have got belief that all creation of the nature need to be protected. Such beliefs have preserved several forests. Isn't it? This belief only have preserved several forests in pristine form. Pristine form means in a good manner, called sacred groves, the forest of God and goddesses. These patches of forest or parts of large forest have been untouched by the local people, and any interference with them is banned. Okay, so these sacred groves, these patches of forest or the parts of large forest have been left untouched by the local people. They don't do anything over there, and any interference with them is also banned. So hereby they are able to conserve the forest and wildlife resources. Certain societies revere a particular tree which they have preserved from time immemorial. Revere means respect. So certain societies respect a particular tree which they have preserved from time immemorial. Time immemorial means since long period of time. You don't even know when it started. Okay. The Mundas and the Santal of Chota Nagpur region worship Mahua and Kadam trees. So Mundas and the Santal of Chota Nagpur region, okay, These people, they worship mahua and kadam trees. You can see the images over here, students. This is the mahua tree. This is the kadam tree. The tribals of Odisha and Bihar worship the tamarind and mango trees during weddings. Very interesting, right, students? The tribals of Odisha and Bihar, they worship the tamarind and mango trees during weddings. To many of us, people and banyan trees are considered sacred, isn't it? You would have seen people worshipping banyan trees and peepal trees, isn't it? They are considered to be sacred. That means holy. You can see the images here, students. This is the tamarind tree, mango tree, peepal tree and banyan tree. Okay. Sacred qualities are often ascribed to springs, mountain peaks, plants and animals which are closely protected. So sacred qualities are often assigned to springs, mountain peaks, plants and animals. They are considered to be sacred and they are closely protected also. You will find troops of macaques and langurs around many temples. Have you seen, students? Here is the images. You can see on the screen the images of macaques and langurs. Okay, they are seen in the temples. They are fed daily and treated as a part of temple devotees. So these monkeys, they are fed daily, okay, and treated as a part of temple devotees. In and around Bishnoi villages in Rajasthan, herds of black buck, nilgai and peacocks can be seen as an integral part of the community. That is very important part of the community, and nobody harms them and they are not harmed by anyone. You can see the images now. Black buck, nilgai and peacock. It's very beautiful, isn't it, students? So these particular species, they are not harmed by the people. Now let us learn about the Chipko movement. The famous Chipko movement in the Himalayas has not only successfully resisted deforestation in several areas, but has also shown that community afforestation with indigenous species can be enormously successful. Chipko means to embrace, to hug. The villagers over here, they had hugged the trees so that the contractors who had come to cut the trees could not do so. This shows the love and affection of the villagers towards the trees. The famous Chipko movement in the Himalayas has not only successfully resisted deforestation, but also has shown that community afforestation, that is planting of trees with indigenous species. Indigenous species means the species which originate or occur in particular region or area, can be enormously successful. Is that clear, students? Here you can see the image, the villagers, right? The trees are being hugged by the villagers so that they are protected from the contractors. Farmers and citizens groups like the Beach Bachao Andolan in Tehri and Navdanya. Tehri is the place in Uttarakhand and Navdanya is the name of an organization, have shown that adequate levels of diversified crop production, that means you can grow varieties of crops without the use of synthetic chemicals, okay, and which is economically viable, which is reasonable. In India, Joint Forest Management, that is JFM program, furnishes a good example for involving local communities in the management and restoration of degraded forest. Okay, so in JFM, that is Joint Forest Management, here it's a good platform for the local communities, okay, to get involved in the management and restoration of degraded forest. Okay, and the program has been in formal existence since 1988. So you need to remember this year, when the state of Odisha had passed the first resolution for joint forest management. In return, the members of these communities are entitled to intermediary benefits like non-timber forest produces. like they can collect honey, they can get rubber, gum, fruits, etc., and share in the timber harvested by successful protection. Not only non-timber forest produces, but also they get share in the timber harvested by successful protection. So I hope it's clear, students. Now it's time to ask few questions. I hope you all are ready. Most of the forests in the northeastern states belong to the category of option A, wastelands, option B, protected forest, option C, unclassed forest, option D, mangroves. Yes, and the correct answer is option C, unclassed forest. Next question. The Mundas and Santals of Chota Nagpur region worship which one of the following trees? Option A, mahua, option B, mango, option C, peepal, option D, tamarind. Yes, students? Yes, the correct answer is option A, mahua. Very good. Next question. Reserved and protected forests are also referred as option A, unclassed forest, option B, permanent forest estates, option C, open forest, option D, mangrove forest. Yes, students, which one is correct? Option B, permanent forest estates. Very good. One more question. Which one of the following is a great achievement of the Chipko movement? Just now we have studied about Chipko movement. More trees are planted, development in the Himalayan region, successfully resisted deforestation, soil erosion gets declined. Yes, students? Yes, the correct option is C, that is successfully resisted deforestation. Very good, students. Now let's have the recap. Today in this video we have learnt about reserve forest, protected forest, unclassed forest, sacred groves, Chipko movement and joint forest management. I hope these all topics covered today you have understood. Here is one interesting activity for you, students. You need to collect more information on the wildlife sanctuaries and national parks of India. Not only you need to collect the information, but also you need to cite their locations on the map of India. Okay, so I hope this activity is very clear for you. Once again, collect more information on the wildlife sanctuaries and national parks of India, and you need to do map plotting. Okay, and cite their locations on the map of India. Here is the link, students, through which you can access the video for the topics covered today. Don't forget to read the textbook. Okay, so I hope you have understood this lesson very nicely. Okay, meet you in the next video. Till then, bye and take care.